William, I think we're breaking new ground here, and I think this is important work.
We are the first to ever do Scarmuto.
I think so.
I would like to issue the Scarmuto challenge to Fresh Air.
Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William. Did you say welcome to Guide to the Unknown?
Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome to Scarmuto.
Scarmuto!
3rd edition.
All the best things come... Oh, actually, as the tagline says, great trilogies come in threes.
That's right.
Scary movie as of the year 2003. One of the greatest trilogies of all time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I don't think there's any question.
Up there with Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
The Matrix, Star Wars.
Definitely.
Scary movie. Yeah. Other taglines, reload for the third shot. That's pointless.
That's weird. What's even... Okay.
And then the last tagline I wrote down is, you'll die when you see these... Or, you'll die to see these rings. And I think it was probably on boobs, or like they made 2 rings to look like boobs.
Yeah, okay. It sounds like it's a visual joke.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, Scary Movie 3 time, everybody.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? This is officially going to mark. We're crossing over the 50% line of Scarmuto.
Right. Halfway through this movie, we were at the 50% line.
Exactly. How are you feeling?
You know, I'm feeling okay. This marked a departure of the Wayans brothers for us. So we're entering a new chapter of the Scary Movie, the book that is the Scary Movie franchise.
That is exactly right. This is a sea change.
Yeah.
So to quickly cover the Wayans situation, the first 2, of course, directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Right.
Written and starring Sean and Marlon Wayans. They're all gone. Reportedly because the Weinsteins or Dimension, Miramax, whatever, put a lot of pressure on them to grind out Scary Movie 2 within a year. And after that, they were like, we're not doing this again. But the like tragedy of that is that like now it's like, what is it, a year or 2 later? I forget now.
I don't know.
It's 2 years later and Scary Movie 3 comes out.
Boy.
So they gave them more time.
Yeah.
The Wayans could have had more time, it seems, if they had stuck around.
Right.
But instead, they're gone. So this movie is directed by, and this is somewhat interesting, directed by David Zucker.
Right.
Who you might know of the Zucker brothers. He's the director of Airplane.
Yeah.
The Naked Gun. Phone Booth? Starring...
Really?
Yeah.
I love Phone Booth.
I know, starring the Penguin himself.
Yeah, Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell.
And the voice of Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes, that's right. I really like that movie. I don't know if he directed it. I may be wrong about that, but that's another one of his
involved.
movies. Yeah. And it's written by Craig Mazin and Pat Proft. Pat Proft of Police Academy, Naked Gun, and of course, Mr. Magoo.
Of course.
Which is to say, spoof royalty, perhaps.
Absolutely.
You lose the Wayans, you bring in the Kings.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, I guess it seems like this would be additive.
Yes. And Craig Mazin, who I think this was the start of his spoof parody journey, but he would, of course, go on to write Superhero Movie, The Hangover 2 and 3,
Okay.
and most recently, Chernobyl and The Last of Us.
Wow, the range on this guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's a hell of a turn, isn't it? To like really like beloved serious properties.
Yeah.
I feel. And I didn't watch The Last of Us, but I played the game. And I know people love Chernobyl.
Same.
But he wrote Scary Movie 3.
Yeah.
Now, you got to start somewhere, right? Like everything is part of it. I don't know.
But for all we know, that was his passion, Scary Movie 3. And now he's like, look, you got to get a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
You know, who knows?
Fine, I'll write. I'll work on this slop.
Yeah, and it's Chernobyl.
The critically adored Chernobyl.
Right. You know, it's just all a matter of preference and taste.
Yes. The only people who are returning, it seems, are Anna Faris and Regina Hall.
Now, I'm very concerned. Okay, so we still have her, so I shouldn't look forward too far. Does Anna Faris come back for 4? I know she doesn't for 5.
She is in 4.
Okay.
I don't know if Regina Hall is in 4.
I feel like
After
she's
this
probably
one,
not going to be.
It feels like she can't be, but I kind of think she is.
Really? Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that.
We're watching these in real time as we record, and I literally don't know what happens in Scary Movie 4. I will tell you this. Watching this movie, I thought this was gonna be 4.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I've seen like bits and pieces of this in the past and seen bits and pieces of Scary Movie 4. And I thought they were the same movie, which we'll get into for good reason. I thought that.
Yeah.
But while we're at the top of the show, I do just want to say while our returning players are, of course, Anna Faris and Regina Hall, that means that we need a whole new supporting cast.
Yeah.
So adios, friend groups from Scary Movie 1 and 2. Goodbye to Shorty and Ray.
I'm not sorry to see Shorty go.
I know. Shorty is fine.
Yeah.
And Ray still only had that one joke, but I like Sean Wayans.
I like Ray. I like Sean Wayans, so yeah.
However,
I like Marlon Wayans too. I just don't like Shorty.
Here's our new cast. And now they've got a lot to live up to, right? Because we already had the likes of Tim Curry, David Cross.
Right. The girl from 90210. Not Tori Spelling. Kathleen Robertson.
Kurt Fuller.
Yes.
The guy that plays Squiggy. Yeah. We have had famous supporting casts.
Yeah.
So who do we have here? Charlie Sheen.
I have to say, that's a big get for
Charlie Sheen is like a pretty shocking get for Scary Movie 3.
And again, with people who are familiar with like the spoof genre, because he's in Hot Shots Part 2, and Major League.
Yes, exactly. So like, weirdly, this was like perfectly in his wheel. It's like you bring in a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
You bring in a sure hand, right, to help this franchise, which really is almost starting from zero.
Yeah.
Simon Rex.
Right. Who at the time, I mean, now I feel like I don't know. It's been a few years out from this movie where everybody was like, he was amazing. He had Oscar buzz. It was called Red Rocket, which I haven't seen.
Right.
But at the time, he was really most well known for being an MTV VJ.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I found out that he also was a real life rapper who exhibited his skills in this movie. And he went by the name Dirt Nasty. Which actually, I have to say, is a great rapper
That's
name.
a pretty funny name.
Yeah.
However, with Simon Rex's introduction, and I want to say this as delicately as possible, Scary Movie from here on out, I think, will be populated with men who I cannot stand and cannot stand looking at.
Yeah.
And Simon Rex, while perhaps conventionally handsome, does things with his face.
William, I was about to say that if you didn't say it.
The old rubber face syndrome, where you believe you're as charismatic as Jim Carrey or something. You can go as big. Infuriating to look at.
Yes, he's doing it to himself. He is a fine looking person, but he's doing things that make him so annoying to look at.
Yes, infuriating to look at. Anthony Anderson.
Yep.
And this is before Scary Movie 4, and that's why I find it offensive that he moved on to Scream, because he started in Scary Movie. Kevin Hart.
You mean it was before Scream 4?
Scream 4, yeah. Kevin Hart. Leslie Nielsen.
I was shocked to see Kevin Hart. I did not know he was in this.
Yeah, I know. It's like a little role.
Movie. I think I saw this in theaters.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, Kristen. Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Whew. I was embarrassed to admit that I saw Scary Movie 1 in theaters when I was like 14.
I know.
I would never admit that I saw Scary Movie 3 when I was 20, Kristen.
I don't know what was going on.
Leslie Nielsen, another like heavy hitter, sure hand from Airplane, icon.
Beloved.
If you have to start from zero, I think that they're doing a good job.
Yes.
Right?
Casting wise, certainly.
Queen Latifah.
Yep.
George Carlin.
Yeah.
This is like a shockaroo of faces who pop up in this movie.
Yeah.
Considering that it is the third in a spoof movie franchise that lost its crew.
But you know what? Like, those first two movies were hits. So if you think about it, it makes sense that the cast would get better and better, because by this time it's a known and proven entity that would be like hot to jump on. It would be appealing for people to get in on it.
You are totally right. That is a good other way of looking at it. I would look at this as perhaps the beginning of the end.
Well, yeah.
I don't know how long this can possibly sustain itself.
Of course. But at the time, their agent would be like, yeah, you should do Scary Movie 3.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
Controversially and famously, last week I suggested that Scary Movie 2 had made a brilliant decision by pivoting from the slasher parody of Scary Movie 1 into paranormal parody of Scary Movie 2, which was all about the haunting and ghosts and stuff.
Right.
And I almost gave a similar compliment to Scary Movie 3, because at first blush, this appears to be a parody of the alien subgenre of horror.
Right.
However, they then changed that and it becomes a mess.
It's kind of like a weird The Ring / Alien thing. But then, again, that's just a very, very loose construct for all kinds of other crap to happen.
Two things that are not compatible.
No.
The Ring and Signs.
Yeah.
And they tried to mash that into one backbone plot. The previous two...
Only sort of even.
Only sort of, but I felt the previous two were a little more focused on a specific type of horror.
Yes.
This just becomes total parody mush.
Yes.
So, with that having been said, since we are at the top of the show, let's do what we always do.
Of course.
Do you recommend Scary Movie 3?
What do you think? No.
Yeah, I think a resounding yes, I would anticipate from you. You love it. You loved Scary Movie 2 more than you loved 1. I would assume your love would only grow.
No.
Your affection would be increasing without end.
Let me clarify again, you dolt.
Hey.
I liked the setting of Scary Movie 2 more than 1 because I like a haunted house. I liked Scary Movie 1 more than I liked Scary Movie 2. However, I don't recommend any of these. They stink. And I don't anticipate watching them ever again.
Hey, you cackling witch. I don't love Scary Movie 2. You sounded like Eric the actor for a minute. If you would listen to me, you dolt. What I said was I love the setting. If anyone knows who Eric the actor is. It sounded kind of like him.
No higher compliment. Thank you.
So you don't recommend Scary Movie 3?
I don't. No, it sucked.
Well, then I feel a little bit vulnerable.
You liked it?
Well, it says here in my notes, no, absolutely not. I do not recommend Scary Movie 3.
I was about to say, that's like really, really surprising.
I know. I had to try for some anticipation because obviously I'm just not going to recommend this movie.
There could be no way. Now, I loved Leslie Nielsen.
Sure.
In it. He lit up the screen. He made me laugh.
Yes, he made me laugh as well.
Funny person.
He's a wonderful man.
God.
Now, just like last week, I did write down everything that made me laugh in the course of this movie, so I will have that list. We'll have plenty to say. We've got to get into the plot, spoil it, the whole shebang.
I guess I sort of did, but I have a lot of notes to say kind of funny when.
Yeah.
Sort of,
I totally agree. Some things didn't make me laugh, but
You're like, oh, it's amusing.
Is this a step up from Scary Movie 2?
Laughs wise, or just in general?
Just in general.
Good question. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's weird.
I'm not sure.
I think that it's bizarre to me how stable it feels coming from Scary Movie 2.
It's not an automatic no to me, but it's also not like, it's a step up.
It definitely feels tonally different. It's interesting to see that a new director of Scary Movie 3 does feel different than Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Definitely.
That is interesting to me. Mm-hmm. But the ways in which they still stick to the formula is kind of shocking to me.
It's shocking, but it is also smart. You know what I mean? Like it is part of a franchise and it's a continuation of a previous story. So it's really not a great idea.
Why upend the dinner table?
Absolutely.
Yes. Still do a parody of a then contemporary beer commercial for no reason. Drinks and booze and twins.
I can't believe that was that's another thing where I was like, that was a commercial on TV.
So far, I know that is crazy.
What?
The world was.
That's disgusting.
If any,
by the way, that's disgusting.
I know, twins.
Ew.
Sisters.
That's so gross.
If Scarmuto is about really anything at its core, other than us just putting ourselves and you, the listener, through something. It's an observation through a time portal of how different the world used to be, how different kinds of comedy were deemed popular and celebrated.
Right.
Not that we didn't know that, but it is weird to look at like this.
Yeah.
And really just kind of being baffled today.
Absolutely. It's a condemnation of the past.
It's just amazing that so far the trilogy, each movie has parodied a commercial.
Yes.
Waz Up, the dribbling basketball in 2, and now the beer twins commercial.
Right.
Whatever
How
that
weird.
is.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we're going to get into all this and more and more and more and more after this commercial break.
Okay. So, William, what did you think about the opening with Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy, now McCarthy Wahlberg?
What did I think? I liked it.
I did too.
I
also liked it.
I was surprised and delighted to say that I enjoyed the cold open of this movie.
I did too. I liked them.
I will say that my pressure that I put on Anthony Anderson has been unfair. I forgot that Jenny McCarthy of Scream 3 ended up in Scary Movie 3.
Ah, that's right.
That I will say though,
think about that.
That trajectory,
yes, I
first
see.
Scream and then Scary Movie,
is a little more acceptable.
It's
more
not
acceptable. Them casting a Scary Movie star in Scream.
Exactly, which I think is a corrupting force.
Yes, she's like parodying her presence in a Scary Movie.
Yes,
in Scary
by
Movie.
doing this. Yes, absolutely, that was totally acceptable.
No, I see that
to me. But I've always loved, and I think many people do have a lot of fondness for The Ring, which is surprising to me.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people really do think primarily of the cold open to The Ring, the two girls discussing the urban legend of the tape, and 7 days after you watch it, first you get a phone call saying 7 days, and then 1 week after you've watched the tape, you die mysteriously. And the famous shot of opening that closet door and seeing that girl's sagging,
Amber Tamblyn,
distended face, horrifying.
Yes.
Genuinely.
I used to be really good at making that face.
Try it again.
How do you do
Maybe
it?
all these years later you can still do it. It's pretty good. It's very close to your Mitch McConnell.
Oh yeah, it is.
Very close to your Mitch McConnell. Oh my God, that's how they're gonna find him. It's gonna look like he saw the tape. You know, the tape. The tape. Anyway.
Wait. Is there a joke here? I don't know. You know, there's the rumored tape of Trump peeing.
Oh my God, he saw the Russia tape. Then he was found.
Yeah, that's the tape later. In Washington.
Maybe he had just seen it when he froze that one day.
And that just made him look like that from now on?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, oh Mitch. We're recording this in advance. What if he's already dead?
Oh,
by the time this comes out.
Yeah, as we record, it is July 9th.
And I'm
know that.
I'm in the midst or perhaps end of my paternity leave.
Yes.
So shout out to everybody for hanging out with us.
That's right.
I'm probably changing a diaper right now while you listen.
Yeah.
So the cold open with Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah.
What's her new last name?
It's fun. Wahlberg. She's married to Donnie Wahlberg.
I liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
I liked it quite a bit.
I think it's good. I like it when Pamela Anderson has been affected by watching the tape, or is it vice versa? Maybe it's Jenny McCarthy is affected, and the other one goes to find them, and they're all like gray and like messed up looking, and the other one is like, Katie, are you okay? And shaking them when they look clearly dead.
Definitely, undeniably dead.
Yeah. Are you okay? Are you okay? And their head falls off and stuff.
And then she picks up the head and goes, "What's going on? Are you all right?"
Yeah.
Like says it to the severed head. That is almost the first time I laughed, which would have been pretty good. I laughed within 1 minute at the top of Scary Movie. I laughed within, I think, like 15 minutes in Scary Movie 2. I think I laughed within 5 minutes of this movie starting.
Okay, what was it that made you laugh?
Okay, after the cold open, we are introduced to Charlie Sheen.
I laughed earlier.
Okay.
May I tell you?
Yes, please.
It made me laugh that when she's like screaming because, I don't know, something happened. I don't know. Now she's scared, whoever is alive. The rings of the tape go onto her boobs and then turn sideways to make the 3 in Scary Movie 3. And that made me laugh.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
You're right. You'll die to see these rings. Yeah. That is pretty funny.
It's funny.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. I think that's totally fair.
Yeah.
And it does set up this story that this is going to be a parody of The Ring.
Yeah.
They don't abandon it from here. The plot of The Ring will continue throughout the movie.
Yes.
For some reason.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, even though the next person we see after the title card, I believe, is Charlie Sheen, who is the father of the farmhouse family who's having like crop signs made in his corn. So his plot through line through the whole story is signs.
Yes.
There are aliens. The aliens are focused around his house. He's got a kid who like knows about the aliens or whatever. I don't know. And then Anna Faris is going to be Naomi Watts from The Ring, investigating the Ring tape, and their stories will collide by the end. Aliens plus The Ring will collide by the end, which I again find to be messy.
It is messy. I guess they set up in a way that's sort of kind of, it's very loose. It kind of works in that she's a reporter and he, like, the crop circles thing is a story, so she intersects with him because she's reporting on that story.
Right.
So, you know.
I don't want to get too much into to Scary Movie 4. Here's why I was so confused going into this one.
Yeah.
I know for a fact now that Scary Movie 4 by and large parodies the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds.
Okay, so I can see why that would be confusing, because that's alien-centric.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought that just like Scary Movie 1 was slashers, Scary Movie 2 was hauntings, I assumed 3 or 4, whichever one this was, because again, these are all just like random scenes of things. I was like, one of them's all about aliens.
Right.
But no, it's about aliens and about
That's so weird.
The ghost of a girl in a well who haunts you through a tape and crawls out of your TV.
Almost.
They mashed those two disparate things together, meaning that in Scary Movie 4 next week, it's going to be more alien parody.
Almost stranger to me is that, I mean, it's obviously strange that they mashed up The Ring and Signs, but it's almost weirder that they did that and then decided for the next movie to also do alien stuff.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Stranger. Like, why didn't they go back to, I don't know, other scary movie
Anything
things?
else.
Yeah.
Any other kind of scary movie thing. Unfocused.
Weird.
These are unfocused now.
I don't think that I don't think they've been focused since the beginning.
Less focused.
Yeah.
But then Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2, which were already unfocused.
Yes.
I think that it's amazing that these are still so similar, where it's like Simon Rex is a white rapper in this, and it's still going to be like white people are nerds.
That takes forever, by the way. Like Simon Rex and the whole 8 Mile parody. I felt
so
like that
long.
took forever.
It is so long, and 8 Mile is not a horror movie.
No, but I mean, obviously, starting with 2, if not in 1, like you just spoof anything. Anything that's in the zeitgeist.
Beer commercials. But why does it have to take so goddamn
even
long?
The Was Up thing, at least Ghostface was participating in it in the first one.
Yes, this is different now.
Yeah.
Now Scary Movie is 75% about parodying scary movies and 25% about just whatever.
Parodying anything.
Who cares? And that is going to be my big problem.
Yeah. It's a huge problem.
It's a huge problem.
So I interrupted you. What was the first thing that made you laugh that had to do with Charlie Sheen?
Yes, Charlie Sheen was the first person to make me laugh in this movie. It is that when we first meet Charlie Sheen, just like at the beginning of Signs, he hears his daughter or his son, I don't remember.
Yeah.
He hears his kid screaming outside, and in Signs, Mel Gibson goes running out to find his daughter.
Yeah.
So Charlie Sheen goes running out to find his daughter too. And he keeps spinning around. He like spins around like 3 times with whooshing noises.
Yeah.
He goes like whoosh, 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 every time he's spinning to try and find her. And that made me laugh.
That is pretty funny.
That made me laugh. It was just chaotic and so stupid.
Yeah, it's just silly.
And they have now got Charlie Sheen, who is really good at doing that deadpan sincerity.
Yeah.
He just looks like a guy being completely dry and mundane. And when he's doing stupid shit, it makes it even funnier.
Yes.
Which was great.
Yeah. No, he's good.
Yes.
He delivers what you need him to deliver.
So that got me. I will also say I tried not to laugh, which means I did laugh. Okay. I tried to stifle this laugh because I don't know why. I guess I was annoyed.
Yeah.
At one point, the sheriff comes to Charlie Sheen's house and is consoling him about something.
Yeah.
And she puts her hand on his shoulder and he grabs her hand and blows his nose into it like it's a hanky.
Yeah.
And that made me laugh.
Yeah, no, I thought that was funny
I
too.
tried not to laugh when he used the sheriff's hand like a tissue.
I liked it. I think that gave me a little chuckle as well.
That got me. I guess most of my laughs are Charlie Sheen, if I'm being honest. Anna Faris, has anything changed for you about Anna Faris in this movie, in your opinion?
No. If anything, like I started to think, I don't think she's with us forever. And I think we need her to shepherd us through these movies.
The changing of the guard.
Yeah. And I was like, how much longer is she going to be here with us?
I feel like she is not much of a part of this anymore.
She definitely isn't. She's definitely not as central to it. But still, I don't know. I think that I needed something to tether me to the previous movies.
I agree.
I'd feel a little bit too ungrounded.
I totally agree.
There.
I think you're probably right about that. I think that much like with Scream, Kristen, much like with Scream, I'm a big observer of how in Scream 1 through 4, especially even in 4 it was notable, but after your cold open scare, title card, and then we catch up with Sydney.
Yeah.
We see what she's up to now because she's our protagonist. So she's right after the title card. Even in Scream 4, which is trying to do that reboot trick.
Yep.
We don't land on Jill, who's supposed to be the new Sydney. If they really wanted to play the game, we should have started on Jill.
Right.
But they start on Sydney because these were still her stories.
Yeah.
And then in Scream 5, what happens? Title card, and we land on Sam Carpenter. It announces a departure.
This is the new gal.
This is the new thing we're doing. Scary Movie 3, title card, and then open on Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
That to me signals right away.
Definitely.
Anna Faris is going to be at least an afterthought.
Yes.
And she really sort of is. So
she definitely is.
As you said, she's a news anchor now. And all of a sudden, there's a kid with her all the time. This is her nephew, Cody.
Yeah.
Anna Faris is saddled with the child comedian actor guy, which is, I think,
tough.
But it's because of Naomi Watts' son in The Ring, who was like a big old creep. And everyone was making fun of at the time that
Yeah.
He's like a lawyer now, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wonder what that's like.
Good for him.
Being a lawyer, just in general. That's a hell of a job.
It's got to be a real something.
Tough business.
Seems like it. Also, interestingly, Anna Faris in this, actually, it's Anna Faris. Anna Faris in this is blonde. Blonde is her natural color, so she was able to go to blonde. Although it's definitely colored in this. They had to bleach it out, so it wasn't her natural color. But she's blonde in this. She only went brunette to play Cindy Campbell in the first one because she was supposed to be like Sidney Prescott, who has brown hair.
Interesting.
But because she's supposed to be like Naomi Watts in this one, they were able to bleach out her hair to her blonde.
Very good. That is interesting.
Yes.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So the connection back to
Charlie Sheen? Yeah.
is that her nephew Cody is in a school class with Charlie Sheen's daughter.
Right.
So that's how you connect Anna Faris to Charlie Sheen.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. I was wrong about the news thing.
Well, she also does that, though.
Okay.
Because that's how she finds out about the alien stuff.
Okay.
But the teacher of that class is Brenda.
Yes.
Regina Hall, coming back for a third time.
I thought we just weren't going to see her.
So did I.
It was brief. I was happy for the time we had with her.
So because these are our only two recurring characters, it's worth noting that the Wayans are not here, but to not even mention them, for Brenda not even to be like, yeah, my brother Shorty is out doing whatever. Like there could be some joke about how like he's a senator now.
Right.
Like you make some
Shorty
stupid...
is Brenda's brother?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're brother and sister.
Whoa.
And their last name is Meeks, which is just Randy Meeks.
Yeah, I know.
Which is weird.
Huh, weird.
But so, like, you could totally have her offhandedly mention that Shorty is out there doing something.
Wait, William, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. So if Shorty and Brenda are brother and sister with the last name Meeks, does this mean that in Scream 5 and 6... actually
Mindy and
Chad are actually basically a parody of Shorty and Brenda from Scary Movie 1 and 2?
Interesting.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
I agree.
But there's no mention of Ray.
Yeah.
You know, she should have been
I
like,
know.
of course, Ray and I, we couldn't keep that relationship going.
Right.
He's married now and he has, his wife has 3 kids or something like that. They could continue those jokes even though they don't have those performers.
Totally.
But instead they go scorched earth.
I know.
No acknowledgement.
I think it's a mistake.
I think it's a huge mistake. Cindy's little nephew Cody draws scary pictures like the psychic boy from The Ring 2, and he's a big old creep.
Yep.
And then Daryl Hammond has a cameo as a creepy priest who
Do you know
brings...
that he's supposed to be the same priest recast?
What do you mean?
That's what it said in IMDb.
What do you mean?
He's also Father McFeely.
What?
Yes. That's what it said. Did I write it down?
Wait,
here?
he's
I'm not
supposed
sure
to
that I
be
did.
who?
James Woods.
He's supposed to be James Woods?
Yes. In IMDb or somewhere it said like they had to recast Father McFeely as Daryl Hammond.
Are you sure?
That's what
They kept the same character name?
At least they kept the same I swear to God that's what I read. They kept the same character name. They said something about something like that.
Is he Father McFeely in this movie or in Scary Movie 2?
Definitely in Scary Movie 2, and I swear I read that this is also Father McFeely and that just look at the IMDb trivia for this. It's pretty short.
You know what?
Scary Movie 3.
I'll do a little better research than just looking at the trivia.
Okay.
How about I look at the cast of Scary Movie 2, and we're going to find where James Woods is because I will not have us getting sued.
All right, this is dueling trivia.
For slander. James Woods in Scary Movie 2 played Father McFeely. Okay. That is confirmed. Now, in Scary Movie 3, let's see who Daryl Hammond played.
Okay.
Because James Woods and Daryl Hammond do not look anything alike.
I know.
And I'm just...
Do you think this kind of thing bothers them?
Curious to state for the record whether or not this is true. Kristen, Daryl Hammond, per IMDb, in Scary Movie 3, plays Father Muldoon. You look like a horse's ass.
Well, let me find what I saw.
You look like a big idiot, and our audience has lost trust in you.
Okay, here's what I saw. At one point, James Woods was set to appear as his character Father McFeely from Scary Movie 2, but for some reason didn't, and Daryl Hammond was cast instead. I took that to mean that he was playing Father McFeely.
Yes, you took that to mean indicates you did not verify, indicates you are not a reporter.
Why don't you go straight to hell? And I am not a reporter. I'm just a dumbass sitting around on a microphone.
Spending a month watching all the Scary Movie movies.
That's correct.
And talking about them in depth.
That's correct.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think anyone's done what we're doing?
Wow, good question. I don't know.
Are we pioneers?
Yeah, is there like a Scary Movie watch-a-thon on anybody else's podcast?
Is there a chance?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Hang on. Since I have my phone out and I'm clicking around at things, I'm going to put in Scary Movie 3. Because if I just put in Scary Movie...
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of stuff, but specifically Scary Movie 3.
3. Okay, Scary Movie 3, and I'm going to click episodes.
Okay, there are a lot of podcasts that have covered... Well, not a lot. Never mind. 3. Okay, we've got Cinephobe, episode 33. We've got The Horror Bin. And we have podcast, AHH. I'm going to click and see if these were part of... series. Yeah, I'm very curious to know, because that's the real thing.
It's hard for me to...
It's not enough to just cover Scary Movie 3. I want to know if anybody covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a weekly basis. Are we going to have anyone left at the end of this month?
They'll all have left. See, the tough thing is I can click on that.
All right, well, while you do that, continue your research, and I'll let the good folks know.
Great idea.
Since we're at the midway point, which means we're literally now entering the middle of Scarmuto. After this, we're literally going to be walking out of Scarmuto for the next 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying this episode, please consider checking out our Patreon, patreon.com/GTTUpod. For starters, if you sign up onto our Ghost tier, you get ad-free episodes of Guide to the Unknown. And you won't even hear what I'm saying right this second. Also on that Ghost tier, you start getting access to the Netherworld Dispatch, which is an exclusive podcast only on our Patreon. Ghosts get an episode every single month. Banshees get 2 a month. And way up at the top, the Demons get an episode of the Netherworld Dispatch every single Monday. If you back our Patreon up on that Demon tier, you basically start and end your week with us. Netherworld Dispatch Mondays, Guide to the Unknown on Fridays. What could be finer than eating in our diner? Right. So go check it out. Have so much fun. We really, really hope that you enjoy it. We love doing the Netherworld Dispatch. We've been doing so many fun shows over there that I really, really recommend you all check out. And I've got a wonderful review for us here, Kristen, from Rachel McCarty, LMT, who says, "My favorite podcast. I discovered this podcast a couple years ago when it was mentioned on American Hysteria."
Aww.
Friend of the show, Chelsea Weber Smith's American Hysteria. Wonderful show. I loved it so much, I went back through and listened from the beginning. Will and Kristen really make each episode so entertaining with their witty quips and commentary. Kristen, you're witty.
Thank you.
I have to add, they both have excellent radio voices, and I truly enjoy listening whenever new episodes come out. Thank you both for continuing to put out content.
Well,
5 stars.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rachel, and anybody else who might leave a review. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it on Apple Podcasts. Definitely. We might read it in the future. Leave us stars on Spotify. Even just let your friends know. Write some tweets. All of these things help us tremendously, more than you would possibly think.
Yes, it's absolutely true.
So we're going to get back into Scary Movie 3. I feel we've almost barely scratched the surface of this terrible film somehow. But that's after this commercial break. Okay.
Okay.
Kristen, can you confirm? I think you've done some research now.
I have. I've now scrolled through the feeds of all those podcasts that I mentioned, and Scary Movie 3 was talked about not as part of a larger series. So, William, I think we're breaking new ground here, and I think this is important work.
We are the first to ever do Scarmuto?
I think so.
I would like to issue the Scarmuto challenge to Fresh Air.
To wait, don't tell me, even though that's not their format.
Hey there, what you doing?
Yeah. Hey now, who's this?
Look out, what you talking about? Does Alec Baldwin still do that one show with all horns at the start?
Yeah. If they do, Baldwin, I extend this challenge to you. Although he might be too busy shooting his reality show for TLC, which is
you're just gonna say busy shooting.
Oh God, William!
I thought you were gonna say that.
No,
I thought you were gonna say that. So it really means more about you than it says about me.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I think that we may be the first ones to do Scarmuto.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
Huh, interesting. Well, to get back into it, do you have anything to say at all about the rap scene? Which again,
I really don't think I do.
So goddamn long.
I honestly don't think that I do. I just hated it.
It is horrible.
Yeah.
It is horrible.
No, it's terrible. It annoys me that they did it because Simon Rex can rap. I find that irritating.
Yep. Simon Cowell is there.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Simon Cowell's in the bathroom trying to psych himself up, just like Eminem does. Mm-hmm. And then he feels like he's going to puke.
Wait, Simon Rex.
Yeah. Simon Cowell and Simon Rex.
But no, I know.
The two Simons face to face.
Simons.
Simon Rex is going to puke, so he throws open a toilet, stall door to puke, and he pukes right in a guy's lap who's sitting on the toilet, which I kind of like.
That's okay, yeah.
Fat Joe is there.
Yeah.
Who raps a full song in full, no comedy, just raps.
Yeah, I was very unfocused during this part.
Well, the movie was unfocused as well, Kristen, might I remind you.
Of course.
And then he puts up a white hood, and it makes him look like he's in the Klan.
Right.
And then he gets thrown out the window. I will say, I can't tell if this is praise for Simon Rex or for the director, Jeff Zucker. They do that Texas switch maneuver. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like a filmmaking trick. They do it a lot in these parody movies where it's like in The Naked Gun, Frank Drebin is doing backflips through a room.
Oh, yeah,
and then falls behind a couch and Leslie Nielsen pops up.
I love that kind of thing.
In the same shot, they have a stuntman do it, and then Leslie Nielsen pops up at the end as if it was him the whole time.
Right.
In Scary Movie 3, they do the Texas switch in such a unique way where they throw Simon Rex out a window and the stuntman lands behind a car, and then Simon Rex pops up.
Yeah.
But he pops up almost the second the body hits the ground.
Yeah.
So it's like the timing is very funny. It never made me laugh, but it was worth...
But it's good to look at.
It was worth praising that it was impossible how quickly he's standing up from when the body lands, and I kind of liked that.
Yeah.
Hard to describe unless you see it, but a great Texas switch that I've never quite seen before.
I don't remember it, but I can understand from what you're saying. I appreciate it.
They extra highlight that this is not Simon Rex being thrown out the window, and that is very fun to me.
Yeah, I like it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Brenda's death, which is the next thing to occur.
Right.
She has died before, hasn't she? Wait, did she die in the first one?
Did she? I'm trying to think. How would she have been killed in the first one? I'm trying to picture it. I'm not sure. She died in the second one.
Did she?
Maybe she didn't. I don't know. Maybe this is her first death.
I could have sworn she died in the first. The fact that I can't even remember Scary Movie 1.
Honestly, I feel like I remember reading something that was like, despite the whole cast dying in the first one, they're all brought back, or like the bulk of the cast dying for the first one, they're all brought back for the second or something.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
That's crazy. Why can't I remember whether or not I could have sworn she died. This is weird. This is now my brain is getting erased in real time.
Weird. Think about how many things happen in these movies. It's not just a regular plot to follow. It's a regular plot with commercials to be just shot into your brain.
Yeah.
8,000 little jokes that are all disparate. It's not surprising not to remember these things.
You're right, but I did have to figure this out. Brenda is stabbed in that movie theater.
Okay.
In Scary Movie 1. Remember she's doing the Jada Pinkett thing of yelling at the screen during Shakespeare in Love?
Yes.
which is pretty funny.
It is funny.
And Ghostface is there and gonna kill her, but all the other patrons of the movies kill her because she won't shut up.
Right.
So everyone stabs her, and even an old lady goes, "Your ass is grass," and slits her throat. So she did die in Scary Movie 1. That's confirmed. The fact that she came back in 2 was just like, well, you want to have her back because she was great. But something's different about how she dies in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's why I question whether or not she's going to be in the 4th one, because her death in this one is
it's
so
not just
crazy.
Her death. It's her afterlife, I guess you would say, or her body's happenings after her death. It's out and about.
It's crazy. Would you accept if she came back as a ghost in 4?
I would accept anything because I just really like her.
Like
and
her
also,
too.
like, who, in these movies, what are you going to care about what you're going to accept?
Totally true. So here's what happens. Brenda has Cindy over where she admits that Brenda, has seen the tape and she saw it 1 week ago. And then her nose starts to bleed. Yeah. Cindy goes, "Your nose is bleeding." But Regina Hall then goes, "Gotcha, it's ketchup." Prank.
Yeah, she'd be a little prankster.
And then she fakes a seizure with a foaming mouth. Oh, it was just a prank. And then, and she pees herself during the fake seizure, which is...
She's committed to the bit.
She's committed to it. And then her hand catches on fire, but it was a fake hand.
Yeah.
Also that when she goes into the living room and the TV turns on by itself and a girl starts crawling out of the well on the screen and she's calling out to Cindy and going like, "The TV's leaking," when there's water coming out of the screen and stuff. Cindy's like, "Ha ha, Brenda."
Yeah. Now she's the girl who cried wolf.
But for real, the little girl from The Ring crawls out of the TV and they start having a fist fight.
Yeah.
Regina Hall starts by kicking the girl's ass. It's not Samara. They call her Tabitha. And then the little girl starts fighting back. And then Brenda gets thrown behind the couch.
Yeah.
And just is dead now.
Yeah.
Cindy peeks behind the couch at the end of this and screams. And now we're at Brenda's funeral.
Right.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I know. We're denied like
a kill.
A kill and even like a shocking ring face for Brenda.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe because they spent too much on the budget for her dead body.
Right.
That's used to comedic effect, and that had to just look like her, regular. But actually, now that I think about it, why is she just regular? How come she doesn't have a ring face?
She should have the ring face.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it's all just like, I don't know. This is a weird movie.
Yeah.
Because, everything here is going to be like at her funeral. She looks. Oh wait, does she look? Maybe she does look a little scary in the casket.
I think she looks a little scary, but she doesn't have full on like gray, like super
distended
duper
face.
long. Yeah.
Right. Well, Simon Rex, I wrote, explodes her body.
Yeah. What does he do?
They like rip her body apart.
Yeah.
They rip Brenda's legs and arms off. They like jump on her in the casket. And Anthony Anderson is there too.
Right.
And like punching
stop by
Brenda's corpse and stuff. It's so stupid, but like they go so gonzo to really rip Brenda limb from limb in this one.
Right. So it makes you think like, how could she possibly come back?
They spend so much time. Of course it doesn't matter.
Like it's not like they explained like, "Oh, Brenda, I'm so glad that the hospital that you were at treated your wounds so well." So it's like,
it's just weird that they spend so much time on it.
Yeah.
I
don't think there's probably any point to it. Like, I don't think there's any meaning. You know how like in some other movies, like, I can't think of anything, but let's say there was a character who was really hated, and so there's like a kill scene that's really insane that shows that they're really never going to come back. I think this is just like a funny, dumb thing.
You're 1,000%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Aside from the funeral, I have a note here that just says, "Great, more Simon Rex."
Oh, I know.
He screams for a while, and then we finally get Charlie Sheen's backstory.
They were really banking on Simon Rex.
They thought he was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is it brutal?
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen has the same backstory as Mel Gibson in Signs,
yes.
where a driver hit his wife, pinned her body against the tree. That's what happens in Signs. Bizarrely, in Signs, the driver is Michael Showalter.
Right.
Or is it? Or no, Michael Showalter is It is M. Night Shyamalan, Shyamalan, I think, in Signs. But Michael Showalter is in the movie and plays the town bully.
Yeah. He's
He's
like a town bad boy.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's awesome.
In Scary Movie 3, the driver...
I don't even remember the driver.
The driver, it's like almost like for no effect. He's like, "I'm still sorry about what happened that night." And then he goes, "I remember what happened." And then they start to fade to his memory. and it's playing the song The Mexican Hat Dance. And he sort of like forgives the driver. And then we get the full flashback.
Yes.
Which is all the flashing cop lights. The car has pinned his wife to the tree. And now here comes Charlie Sheen driving up, and he's listening to the Mexican Hat Dance and like drumming on the steering wheel and going like, hey, which
having a good time.
Is funny.
Yeah.
Because Charlie Sheen is shockingly funny.
No, he's funny.
I like forgot that he's funny. I remember him. Everything about his life and the tiger blood, all that stuff overshadowed the fact that he really was talented and funny.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And I think he's sober now.
Is he? Very good. Excellent.
I believe he's well. That whole family's really got the goods. Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen, Emilio Estevez, Joe Estevez, as I now know.
Joe Estevez is one of the
developed
MVPs of the on-cinema universe.
I have developed a fondness for this family that I never saw coming.
I know. I wish to become part of this family someday.
Me too.
Perhaps Joe Estevez will adopt us.
Maybe we can marry into the on-cinema family somehow.
Allie and Ryan are going to be upset, but
they'll get on board.
They'll understand, surely.
Or we can adopt Joe Estevez.
This flashback scene is where I definitely laugh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, this makes me laugh because the cop is trying to explain to Charlie Sheen, who cannot understand, that his wife's body is pinned against a tree and basically cut in half. And she's only going to live for as long as the car is still holding her there, which is crazy and is in signs.
Yes.
And she tries to demonstrate, because he's like, what are you telling me? So stupid. And she holds up a hot dog and snaps it in half. And he goes, she broke her wiener? That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's not what made me laugh, though. She explains, no, she's broken in half. And he says, you mean this is the last time I can talk to the top half?
Yeah.
That's what made me laugh. This is going to be the last time I get to talk to the top half
so stupid.
Of my wife.
It's so stupid.
That's a great joke.
Yeah.
That's one of the all-time.
I don't know about that, Will.
Great
William.
comedy moments
William, please.
in American history.
Pull yourself together,
You mean
man.
this is the last time I can talk to the top half?
No, that is a funny joke.
Not the last time I can talk to her.
It did give me a little,
That made me laugh.
Yeah.
Talk to the top half. Oh, God. He also, when he pulls up to the crime scene, the driver, the killer driver, is sitting on the side of the road. And when he sees Charlie Sheen, he goes, I'm going to need a ride home. He calls that out to Charlie Sheen, which is also funny. And I wrote in all caps, Charlie Sheen is so good at this for real.
Yeah, he's great.
It's Denise Richards.
Yep.
Who is pinned against the tree. And the entire time he's talking to her, she starts going like, just promise me one thing. Never marry again. Never have sex again. And he goes, what? Honey, I think you're losing consciousness. You're delirious. I can't understand you. And she's like, no, just no sex. And he's going, honey, we're losing her. Yeah. And he starts covering her face. The last time he's talking to the top half, and he just wants to shut it down.
Yep.
I thought that was all
that's
funny.
His real life wife at the time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Interesting. That all that made me laugh.
Yeah. No, it's a good little scene.
The rest of the movie is a huge question mark.
William.
Once Queen Latifah shows up.
William, you're absolutely wrong. Leslie Nielsen.
Oh.
Because Leslie Nielsen doesn't even really come in until
No, he's barely in this thing.
He's barely in it, but does he shine? He sure does.
He does. Of course he does. How could he do anything but?
No, he's great. I mean, that's really where the laughs come in for the rest of the movie. But no, you can start talking about Queen Latifah, because that's pretty much immediately after this.
Yeah. Queen Latifah plays Aunt Shaniqua. She is the Oracle from The Matrix.
Yeah.
We're going to do more Matrix parodies in Scary Movie.
I feel like a lot of the early 2000s were just Matrix parodies in comedy.
My God.
Anytime we could.
She's married to Orpheus. And when she sits in a chair, her chair farts.
Yeah.
She confirms that the ring tape is somehow connected to the aliens.
Right.
So this is through Aunt Shaniqua. This is how we start to link the A and B plots.
Yeah.
The aliens and the ring tape are somehow one and the same or something.
You know, whatever.
Anna Faris, and Cody have now watched the tape. What did you think of the cursed tape as depicted in this film?
There was something about it that made me laugh.
Yes.
What was it that I wrote it down?
Some of it's a direct parody to The Ring, where instead of a woman combing her hair, it's a woman combing her armpit hair.
Right.
Right. A guy sits in a chair. There's this chair spinning around upside down, and then a fat man, walks into the scene, and then it cuts, and he's sitting in the chair, and it's still spinning around upside down, and then he's barfing off to the side.
God, I thought I had a note about something in the tape. What the hell is it?
I think I know what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
So, the ring, the titular ring, is Samara's point of view looking up the well at the sunlight just peeking around the stone cap.
Yes.
Right? So it forms a ring of light.
Yes.
The ring of light in this movie is from the vantage point of inside a toilet.
That's what it was.
Looking up at a man's ass who's sitting on the toilet seat. And what happens is the light from the ring, the stone dais, appears to be moving, and then you realize you're looking up at bare ass cheeks, and a guy glances back down into the toilet at you, the viewer. And that made me laugh.
That's exactly what it is.
And then the movie, and then it concludes with staring up the well, so to speak, as a new new bare ass cheeks come in and sit back down on the toilet, sealing you once again in darkness.
That's right. So yeah, all in
inspired.
I liked the tape.
One of the great comedic moments in American history. Again, up there with I get to talk to the top half.
Again, you love this movie. Actually, I think this is really cracking you up. You're really busting a gut. You know, in the beginning where you were like faking me out, you're like, "Well, Kristen, I'm embarrassed to tell you, no, I don't recommend this movie."
You know. Here's the only thing I can say in defense.
Yeah. No, there's no need to defend.
There are multiple ways.
Oh, you know why I couldn't find it? Because it's up here at the top. That's my favorite joke of the movie.
Yeah, the ass.
Somebody sitting on... Yeah.
Somebody sitting on the toilet. Yeah. Somebody sitting on the well with their bare ass cheeks. There are multiple ways to crunch the numbers. I'm giving you quantity of laugh per movie.
No, I get it.
Right? But there's also potency of the laugh per those moments.
Of course.
And I think the laughs here are stronger and stupider than the laughs in Scary Movie 2. I will have to go back perhaps and crunch the numbers on how many times I laughed at Scary Movie 1 because I don't have that data. I didn't start doing that until last week.
Yeah.
But the things that are making me laugh in this movie are
really
making me laugh. This is the last time I get to talk to the top half. With earnest concern. That is very funny to me. Yeah. And finding out that the well is covered by bare ass cheeks was a delightful surprise.
No, that's great.
Okay. So what do you want me to say?
You know what I thought was a missed opportunity, actually, that I'm seeing in my notes? So there's a flip book at one point that the creepy little boy makes of Tabitha, like the Samara-esque girl.
Yes.
And I thought, this is so stupid. So stupid.
Please, by all means.
I can't believe I wrote this, and I can't believe this is so dumb. Okay, I said that I thought that they should have had her doing the Macarena.
What?
That is so stupid. But then I wrote, that's my first thought. But in their world, I'm surprised they didn't have her humping or something.
Yes, you're right.
Because they just had her like walking and being creepy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the Macarena have been better?
Yes. Well,
think about it. Just think about it. If they're doing the flip book, it's a scary little girl, but then it's...
Yeah. It does seem in keeping comedically with the rest of the movie. I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
I'm a little frustrated that when you're trying to fix things, you gave them a shit joke.
I think it's pretty funny.
No, you know what? I'll give it to you. I think it's pretty funny.
Thank you.
Oh,
boy.
Charlie Sheen sees his daughter as a ghost from the others, except it's kind of Michael Jackson.
Right. And okay, I kind of like this part. Not like the whole like Michael Jackson fight thing, but Charlie Sheen finally bests the Michael Jackson ghost and dangles him out a window, and then the ghost falls. And I like Charlie Sheen's reaction to still holding Michael Jackson's nose after he dangled him out the window.
Okay, very good.
Like,
very good.
I liked that.
When he dangled him out the window, I think he said, "How do you like it?" Because this was a parody of Michael Jackson dangling his baby out a window.
Blanket.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. And then he finds the costume outside. It turned out that that wasn't even Michael Jackson. That was one of the aliens wearing a human costume.
Right.
So,
what is that? Are they implying that was Michael Jackson the whole time?
I don't know. I don't know. Enter President Leslie Nielsen.
Finally.
Who I wrote is amusing. Says that he had an alien encounter once. They accidentally took it to the kitchen at Thanksgiving and stuffed its ass and ate it at a state dinner.
Yeah.
That was the last time he saw it. And then he goes, no, wait. There were some sandwiches they made the next day.
That's right. A lot of it is, it's him.
Yes.
He can say the stupidest, most actual unfunny thing, but he's got it.
It's just that he's amusing. That is about it.
Yeah, totally.
Everything starts to come to a head when Cindy finally goes to the lighthouse, which, just like The Ring, it like shows a location on the tape. She goes to the location. Again, for some reason, she goes inside the lighthouse and we're back in Matrix parody.
Yeah.
It's George Carlin as the architect of the Matrix who gives her just an info dump, which is the same as The Matrix. He just tells us way too much stuff. He's the adopted father of the evil girl from the tape. His wife, she was like a misbehaving evil child. Right. His wife killed her in a well. Here's a good joke. George Carlin says, I felt a simple timeout would have been sufficient.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
A pretty good joke. And then he had this tape that somehow was created from the little girl's ghost. And the whole reason it got out there is because he accidentally returned it to Blockbuster instead of his copy of Pootie Tang.
Of course. Of course.
And
at this time, I feel like Pootie Tang was a real punchline.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
heard about Pootie Tang a lot, I think.
And then he confirms, underlines it, although it will still be confused later, that Tabitha, the little girl ghost, is perhaps summoning the aliens to kill everyone.
Right, right.
This is all starting to give me flashbacks to when were we there together? We must have been. The Bill and Ted Halloween show?
Yes, we were.
Yes. We went to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, which for years on end had a yearly show of Bill and Ted parodying a year's worth of pop culture events.
I don't even know if that has to do with Universal Halloween Horror Nights. I think that's just that just happens at Universal like regularly.
I think it was a Halloween specific thing.
It was themed, but I think that Bill and Ted thing probably is just happening all the time.
It was atrocious.
Yeah.
It was a sin.
It was horrible.
And they would bend over backwards. So it's like, here's Kylo Ren and here's Chewbacca Mom.
Yeah. And
it's just like, oh my
Boy, I forgot about
God.
Chewbacca Mom, but yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
And once George Carlin, I'm sorry, says that Tabitha is trying to summon the aliens to kill everyone, I just started being like, yeah, listen, these movies have never needed to be about anything, ever, ever, ever. But they had more sense than just like, the ghost is summoning aliens. It's just like, well, why am I watching this? There's no... Why are you trying to explain anything? Why are you bothering trying to explain anything?
I guess you have to.
No, just let the jokes occur. Once you start explaining and those are explanations, I'm just like, Shockingly, Kristen, I discovered halfway through Scarmuto that I'd been wasting my time.
William, no!
I hate to say it.
No! William, time enjoyed is not time wasted.
What is time not enjoyed?
You've enjoyed yourself.
This is a sentence.
William, it's the last time I'm going to talk to the upper half. Excuse me?
I do like... Thank you for reminding me of better times.
Yes, let me ground you.
Tabitha is summoning the aliens is I think, where Scary Movie jumped the shark.
Oh, get out of here. Who gives a shit?
It's annoying to me. It's just mush. They're just pretending.
William, of course it is.
I know.
I don't even remember that.
I know.
It's completely immaterial to watching these movies.
I agree with you that it's crazy of me to make this point. But for some reason, and it's hard for me to quantify, that was crossing a line.
That's okay.
Of sorts.
That's all right.
Then the president, Leslie Nielsen, thinks that he's being attacked by aliens because he's at a convention and disabled people are there and he thinks they're aliens. So he starts punching people in wheelchairs and stuff.
Right.
And he decides that he needs to meet with Cindy Campbell. They broadcast the killer tape on the news. Now everyone is doomed. And the farm is locked down. Anthony Anderson is there because this movie tested well when he was in it, and they found more times for him to be part of it.
Yes.
The aliens are here, but they look like bad, cheap alien suits.
Yeah.
Here's something
like loose and wrinkled.
Here's something that I shockingly have seen people champion. Anthony Anderson at the farmhouse with Charlie Sheen goes out on patrol to find the aliens. They're holding shovels. He cocks his shovel like a shotgun. It goes like,
okay,
and it's a shovel.
Yeah.
I've seen multiple people on the internet champion that moment as being hilarious.
They like this.
I have seen multiple people on the internet say that this is their favorite Scary Movie.
Okay. Because of that?
That at least has been posited as evidence of this movie being of a better quality.
Okay.
Just saying.
Well, all right.
Leslie Nielsen hits the aliens with his car,
Yeah.
but then looks up in the sky to see multiple flying saucers. His response is, oh good, the Air Force is here with those new round planes.
Yeah.
Which is also a good joke.
Yes, it is.
Kevin Hart shows up with a bunch of dudes with guns. They get into a gang
Macy
war.
Gray.
And Macy Gray.
Yeah.
All the rappers too. Fat Joe's there. But then everyone just gets into a war with each other, and they end up killing each other with a rocket launcher. So they're not there. They can't help.
Right.
Turns out here's how it all culminates. It turns out the aliens also watched the tape, and they came here for help. Tabitha is the only bad guy.
Yeah.
The aliens have been trying to make contact with humans because they watched the Ring tape.
Women are always demonized, right, guys?
that's what
it's always us.
That's as a member of the patriarchy. Please keep it down. Cindy realizes the locations on the tape are in the basement under Charlie Sheen's farmhouse. The well is under the basement floor.
Yes.
That I actually felt was a decent way to connect the two things.
I agree.
When the well is uncovered, Tabitha appears. She dances with a chainsaw like Leatherface and accidentally cuts the ceiling and drops a beam onto herself. Cindy tries a tactic saying, you don't have to be evil. You can be nice, which is something I teach Zoe.
Yeah.
Give people a chance to be nice.
Yes.
She turns good for a moment, but then Leslie Nielsen opens the door and says his airplane line, good luck, we're all counting on you. It's a callback to a 70s movie.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And he accidentally knocks Tabitha into the well, and they seal it shut.
It's a better solution, I guess.
Better solution.
Yeah.
Then the movie concludes with a happy ending. Cindy and George, who is Simon Rex, the rapper, they get married, and everyone is there. Even the corpse of Brenda, which is all duct taped together and scary looking. Leslie Nielsen catches the bouquet.
As it should be.
I was happy to see that.
Yeah.
And then the way that they end every scary movie is usually with somebody getting hit by a car. They are backing up the car, and they almost run over Cody, but at the last second they don't.
Phew.
Thank God. But then,
It's been a thing that she has forgotten him.
Yes.
Cody. She's driven away without him.
But then out of nowhere, a bus comes and hits him from the other direction, smash to credits.
Yeah.
The end. Scary
That
Movie
could have been
3.
a setup for a Pet Cemetery thing in Scary Movie 4.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Will we see Cody in Scary Movie 4?
No. Right?
I don't know. I
don't think so. I feel like a lot of times, like, you don't want to be saddled with a kid in movies like this. Like, it's not a great idea a lot of times for a comedy to have a kid around.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I don't know where this goes from here, although I do know that War of the Worlds parody is coming, and I believe a parody of Tom Cruise on Oprah's couch is coming. Again, I thought all that stuff was part of this movie.
I wonder if they just did War of the Worlds to do a bunch of Tom Cruise stuff. I wonder if there's other Tom Cruise stuff in that movie.
Oh my God.
Because maybe this was at the time where like Tom Cruise was pursuing or was with Katie Holmes and he was like so incredibly out there.
True.
So I wonder if this is just a vehicle for that.
If Scary Movie 3 has taught us anything, it's that they're running out of scary stuff.
Yeah, true.
So maybe. They were like, let's latch onto this guy.
Yeah,
and just do as much as we can.
I
do want to say that even though this movie is terrible, we did dodge a bullet.
Okay.
You may recall that there are 2 credited writers of Scary Movie 1 who didn't write any of it.
Yeah.
They wrote another draft, and through Writers Guild arbitration, their names had to be included as if they had written that movie. Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer wrote a draft of Scary Movie 3, which they wanted to be a parody of Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. Scary Movie 3 was almost a parody of those 3 things which are not scary movies.
That's so weird. I can see why they weren't.
They would have called
why it wasn't.
They would have called it Scary Movie 3 Episode 1, Lord of the Brooms.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
So we at least were safe.
Tell David Seltzer to stick to Bubbles.
We at least were safe from that.
Yeah.
I'll tell David Seltzer. Some other guy.
Yeah. That's his name, right?
No, Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer.
Oh, Aaron Seltzer. We'll tell Aaron Seltzer to stick to Bubbles.
Too late. I already told David Seltzer. And he went, what? David Zucker decided not to do that, obviously, and decided to go with something closer to the tone of the first 2 movies, which makes sense.
Yes.
There is an alternate ending, Kristen, where Cindy is told that Cody does not exist. After hitting a few people in the face with a shovel, Cindy asks everybody who is not real to stand over there. Cody goes over in the corner and is followed by Santa Claus. The aliens then begin to invade, but George stops them by transforming into the Hulk.
Okay.
Leslie Nielsen tries to Hulk out, but ends up soiling his pants.
No.
Cindy enters the Charlie Sheen's house where she is attacked by Tabitha the ghost. She is teleported away to Aunt Shaniqua, who teaches her how to defeat Tabitha. Cindy must then confront hundreds of Tabithas. She wins the battle by performing moves from The Matrix and teleports back to Charlie Sheen's house.
Wow.
The cast then gets into a car with Leslie Nielsen, but are horrified to learn that the driver happens to be M. Night Shyamalan.
Wowie wow. That's a lot. All right. Well, I think that's a good edit.
Yeah.
From a team that seems to not do a lot of edits.
That's true.
So that's good.
The total tally of times that I laughed, 5, perhaps 5.5 if you count She Broke Her Wiener and You Mean This Is the Last Time I Can Talk to the Top Half as 2 different jokes, even though they happen at the same time.
I count them as 2 different jokes.
2 different jokes? All right, then I laughed 6 times at Scary Movie 3.
I think we have to count you laughing at the top half joke like 4 times during this episode. So
That's not fair.
You've laughed 9 times.
That's not fair. I laughed 5 times at Scary Movie 2.
Okay.
For the record.
All right. They're on very even footing.
As we go on. For some reason, I wrote this in a section titled Complaint. It just says too many head bonks.
Huh.
I think multiple times people wake up and slam their head on a lamp.
Yeah.
As they try to sit up. I think it happens too many times.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was interested to find that there is a line that I guess director David Zucker has planted in a number of his movies that Leslie Nielsen says in this one. He says at one point, "You're excited. You should feel these nipples." And that's in this movie. And it's also in David Zucker's Brain Donors, which, he produced, did not direct. And it is also in Basketball.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. So he's into that line.
Oh, why?
Yeah, I don't know. Weird, right?
Maybe he forgot he used it.
Maybe. I don't know. It's so distinctive. You would think you would remember.
Yeah, but think about the sheer number of quote unquote jokes.
Exactly.
Is there any way to keep track of them all?
No.
It's impossible.
No, I can't imagine.
Okay.
That's Scary Movie 3.
That's enough.
Yeah.
All right. We are now 60% of the way through Scarmuto.
I wonder how everybody's feeling.
How are you feeling?
How am I feeling? I have some Scary Movie fatigue. I'm not going to lie to you. If I wasn't committed to this, I wouldn't be watching more scary movies. However, you know what I think? And I'm not totally sure. I think I have less scary movie fatigue than I had Cage-tober fatigue.
I think that's true, that's more shocking than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I can endure more scary movie than I could Nicolas
I feel like
Cage
I remember
horror films.
being more like, oh man, like this is a slog during that. And at least these are, moving at a clip. Not always loving it, but I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I think it's crazy to say it, but it is true. I think that somehow I feel betrayed by this movie.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I feel that this movie is bastardized.
Well, because you loved so much of it, and then to have the plot betray you.
Yeah, and then to be so confused by myself that the plot of this mattered to me, but it did for some reason. The merging of The Ring and Aliens. Now
you're a story man.
Again, I think it's hard. I'm trying to treat this as its own thing. I'm trying to treat Scary Movie 3 as an island. But again, and we can start to nudge to next week a little bit. Scary Movie 4. I don't think I've ever seen anything of Scary Movie 5, so I think that every other memory I have is of 4.
These are going to be completely new territory for me. I don't think I've ever seen anything from Scary Movie 4 or 5.
Here's my concern about Scary Movie 4. I think that just like this bizarrely tries to combine The Ring with Signs, I think next week they bizarrely try to combine The Grudge, Saw, and War of the Worlds into one story.
Okay.
And I have major concerns about that because that sounds like the same as this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's a challenge.
Why isn't one of them just all about aliens and then we move on? I think next week is also about aliens.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah, they just divide these movies up between scary movies.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I have reason to suspect, because it was what killed the franchise, that after that, Scary Movie 5 is going to be the worst thing either of us has ever seen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty bad.
That's the grand finale, though. That's 2 weeks from now. So that's really looming on the horizon.
Right.
But for now, Scarmuto, I'm not feeling good, everybody. I am not feeling well.
No. Hasn't been a great experience.
No. But you're still with us if you're hearing us say these words.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that says about you.
No, but thank you for sticking it out.
Thank you.
Yes. And as Will said, I assume because I was furiously scrolling through other people's podcasts looking for any sign of their own sort of Scarmuto. You can find us at patreon.com/GTTUpod, where you can check out our other weekly podcast, Another World Dispatch. You can also find us on social media at GTTUpod. We post whenever we have new episodes out, and you can follow us online individually. I am at Chillin' Kristen.
I am at The Myth Traveler. I expect to see a lot of articles, a lot of tweets about how Guide to the Unknown is breaking new ground by doing this Scarmuto exercise. Now that we know that we are the first to ever attempt
awesome that we call it Scarmuto.
To ever attempt Scarmuto, which of course, if you've already forgot what it means, it's Scary Movie October. We only took the toe from October. It's not even Scarmutober or something. Scarmuto.
So funny.
God
Scarmuto.
damn it. Scarmuto. No one else has attempted it before. So thank you all so much. We'll be back next week. We know exactly what we're up against, sort of. Mm-hmm. Scary Movie 4.
Yeah.
But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld. Go. You know what? Actually, I think I do know something about Scary Movie 4 now that I think about it. I think I can picture the Oprah couch jumping thing. I think I can picture the guy who's in this.
Yeah.
I think his name is Craig something. And I think that he was on Sex and the City as a jazz playing guy who wears a pork pie hat. He's like annoying. The Sex and the City characters.
It's not this man's fault, or maybe it is. But just like Simon Rex.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to look at that man.
He plays Carrie's body like a bass. He's like, come here. You know, there are the notes down here. Ba-doom, boom, boom, boom. And she's like giggling.
Strumming her ass cheeks.
Yeah.
All right.
And she breaks up with him because he's like too obsessed with jazz. He just like can't be like a normal person. He's like a child. He's like in the middle of the night, like he's just awake, like with his little hat on, just like playing in the living room and like eating ice cream. And she's like, I gotta go.
What is Sex and the City like Seinfeld, where it's like everyone dating just a bunch of people with individual weird quirks?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Well, I can't wait to look at him a whole lot more.
I think it's that guy.
All right, well, we'll have to check. Okay. We'll have to check and see if you're right.
All right, great. Maybe I'll watch that Sex and the City episode, and then I'll compare and contrast
his performances,
the traits of that character with the other character.
That would be fascinating.
Probably wouldn't. Okay.
All right.
Wouldn't make any sense. Like, why?
I don't know.
All right.
For a hope of seeing anything of a better quality.
Interesting that we can talk about that's not the movie.
No.
Okay.
So this or nothing.